Okay guys, before I get into the video, I have to do this or else the background of my screen is going to be very blurry and it's just going to be very bad. So yeah, just before we get into the video, I just have to do this. You can skip to like 17 seconds or something and you'll be okay. But you heard that at 15 seconds, so it's no point. Okay, sorry about that. Hello guys, and today I'm going to be showing you why Athletico Madrid could win the league in the 2017-18 season over Barcelona and Real Madrid. Reason number 1, Athletico Madrid transfer ban. Transfer bans are never a good thing, especially when you have a lot of targets. It's no different for Athletico Madrid, who wanted Alexander Lacazette and Diego Costa, two massive names. But that means they're going to be keeping a lot of stars, and anyway, they have a hell-winning team. They'll be keeping Griezmann, Godin, and Yano Black, just to mention a few. Angel Correa was also linked to Spurs, so it's really good that they had a transfer ban for them, as they can keep those players. The reason number 2 is Barcelona's poor business. Barcelona was in second as Athletico Madrid were in third, so they can hop over them this. So it would be pretty good if they had a bad window, as Athletico Madrid have a chance to hop over them. Obviously, Barcelona lost their star player Neymar Jr. and haven't really been looking for anybody to replace him. They have He managed 105 goals in 186 games for Barcelona until they leave for a world record £222 million. They can Pogba look cheap. They needed to sign new midfielders as Andre Gomes was completely terrible and Iniesta was aging, but the team slapped down massive price tags on their players. Andre Herrera is worth 60 million. Manchester United said they're only going to sell for 60 million or more. Barcelona had a bid rejected for £72 million for Coutinho, so that's kind of insane. And Tottenham and Paris Saint-Germain have valued Dele Alli and Marco Verratti both at 100 million. That's insane. And if you thought Barcelona's business was poor, just look at Real Madrid's terrible business. They've been horrible on the markets recently. Real Madrid were ahead of Athletico Madrid. Only the second team to be ahead of Athletico Madrid last season, but they might stumble behind them as they are having a pretty bad window. They signed Denis Ceballos, who's managed 79 takeovers, 1,323 passes, 66 tackles won, and 38 interceptions in the 2016-17 season at Real Betis. Also, he managed 52 interceptions that season, but he's not going to get much game time with Modric and Toni Kroos and Kovacic all in the team as midfielders. Plus, they have Jan Oblak, and they have to play him some way. So, it's not the best signing for Real Madrid. Plus, they lost one of their star players, Alvaro Morata, who scored 20 goals and 5 assists in just 1,874 minutes. Compare that to Karim Benzema, who had 48 games. Tell me what's 48 times 90, please. And he managed 19 goals in those 48 games in all competitions. Plus, Alvaro Morata only had about 9 starts, so it was very, so they really need to put him in the starting 11 for next season, but they lost him to Chelsea. Stuck with Karim Benzema, Real Madrid needed a new striker, but just like Barca, their transfer fees were way too high. Balotelli, not Mario when he was actually good. Balotelli, the Torneo dude, cost £86 million, and although he was extremely prolific and clinical, he still plays in the league with pretty weak defenders. Apart from Juventus, really weak defenders. So £86 million is insane. Also, Dybala costs €100 million. That is insane. It seems to be that will be all Juventus will accept. And Kylian Mbappe, a 16-year-old, costs €130 million and €143 million. There's no way Real Madrid can get those players, as Alvaro Morata only left for £60 million, and they'll end up getting a £60 million striker who wouldn't be good enough to beat out Barca and Athletico Madrid. £60 million striker is $40 million less than Antoine Griezmann's buyout clause. And Antoine Griezmann is the star of Athletico Madrid, is the star striker. And just to make matters worse, they lost their star Pepe on a free transfer to Besiktas. That is insane. So the two teams above Atheltico Madrid are having poor windows, but that's definitely not going to be enough to get over the two Galactico clubs. But another reason they could still jump over that is that they still have Gabi and Torres, two very experienced players. Is good what Athletico Madrid need, as because because they have a transfer ban, they'll be looking at youth, and they'll have two leaders to lead them in the youth squad. You have two players the youth players can learn from Fernando and Gabi. Sorry about that. And they are very experienced players who have all played for Athletico Madrid for a pretty long time. And Gabi has been the captain for about forever, winning almost everything at Athletico. And Fernando Torres began his career at Athletico and is now still at Athletico, I think he spent 4 years at the club, pretty decent. And he has experience overall, as he is now 30 years old. Reason number 5 is that there's only 2 teams in the title race, Barcelona and Real Madrid. You might be wondering how that's possibly going to help them, but that means Real Madrid will only be concentrating on beating Barcelona. That's the only fixture they'll be concentrated on the entire season. Maybe Atletico. No, but they don't care. The center of concentration. Everything is... nobody ever says that. Okay, everybody is concentrated on Real Madrid and Barcelona. And just concentrated on Ronaldo and Messi and Neymar. It's all over the papers. Atletico Madrid, so the reason that's good is that Athletico Madrid can improve in the shadows what Real Madrid are noticing, and they're just concentrating on Barca, and vice versa. So it's going to be pretty good for Athletico Madrid, and so they can improve in the shadows. Meaning that Barcelona and Real Madrid won't be ready for when they come and try and snatch the league from them. And despite the transfer ban, they still pulled off some pretty big achievements. Diego Costa wants to leave to Athletico Madrid wants to come back to Athletico Madrid in January. He's planning a 2-year loan to AC Milan, a 6-month loan to AC Milan, and then in January he'll go to Athletico Madrid. Instead of just sitting the entire first half of the season on the bench. They've signed Vitolo for January as well from Marvel Sevilla, and it seems pretty likely they can get Crane Vatal, that dude, back from loan. A fun fact about him, he hasn't scored a single goal in his professional career. They also have managed other big accomplishments, getting pretty close to signing Zlatan now, and they're getting really close to getting Jan Oblak a contract extension, and he is the best keeper in La Liga. So they're definitely improving, and nobody's really caring about them. You probably didn't know who Crane Vatal was. It's the guy with the thumbs up and Zlatan's pictures covering his eye. You probably didn't know who he is, and you probably think he's rubbish because he scored 0 goals in his professional career. But he was out on loan, so they'll get a new player for free to improve their squad depth. And reason number 6 is the most important reason, is the biggest reason. And if they can't pass Real Madrid, which is really likely, they might pass Barcelona. Why is that? Because Barcelona are very poorly run. There's 2 good examples of what happens when the club is very poorly run. Newcastle is one example. They're poorly run and they have broken their transfer record in 12 years. And considering the price tags I'm saying these days, that's really shocking. Another example is Manchester United, only finished top 4 one time since Sir Alex Ferguson left. But they're another Galactico club, and Inter Milan. They were treble winners in 2010 and now are in 7th. It's all because of the terrible things going on in the background. They signed terrible managers, first of all, like Valverde and Luis Enrique. Not saying Luis Enrique's terrible manager, it's just not great. They had better options, way better options. They're always talking about knowing the Barcelona way, but that's definitely not what it's about. It's not about knowing the Barcelona way. Those are all players. They're all just players that played for Barcelona in 1992. When they were just passing the ball around. Xavi doesn't play for Barcelona anymore. Iniesta isn't playing possession football and continuously it's basically the same as parking the bus. That's changed though. And if they want a player who experienced at Barcelona, it was probably Ronald Koeman. He's a way better manager, He's a way better manager. He actually in the 1992 season where Barcelona won the Champions League, Ronald Koeman played the full 90 minutes and Valverde didn't even make the bench. What is going on with their managers? Then they have terrible players. No, not everywhere because of Barcelona, but in some positions. Andrew Gomez, for example, just look at him. How has he done this season? He cost like 30 million, and he's going to downgrade on FIFA. Wow. And Moses Sissoko didn't. Give it up for Andrew Gomez. An extremely overrated player. Probably the most overrated player in Spain, but another overrated player is David Alaba. Jordi Alaba. He's been very poor, and it's shocking how people think that he's still world class because he's not. He nearly got replaced. Just look at that. He nearly got replaced by this Dean dude. If the Dean dude didn't have so little pace. And another thing Barcelona were bad at is they had terrible losses. They lost the likes of Neymar. That's pretty much it. No, but just losing that one Neymar, the future Ballon d'Or winner, probably going to win a Ballon d'Or next season, and he's just going to score a billion goals in such a simple league like League One, and Barcelona are going to regret that. And finally, they make terrible signings. Andrew Gomez, terrible signing. Song. Why the hell did they sign Song? Why? And Real Madrid signed Kaká for 56 million. Flop. They signed West Ham guy on loan. Flop. But that's back then. Now they have a strong sign. It doesn't even matter for them. It's just a loan. He's just going to get cold. Nothing really. He fell asleep on the bench when the game against Villarreal. But Barcelona make a big poor signings. A lot. They haven't made good signings since Luis Suarez. And pick up what signs they made. Titi, a Song, Andrew Gomez, Paco Alessa. None of them were really good. The Paco Alessa, I'm probably messing up his name. He didn't get that much stars because Luis Suarez was not allowing him to get into the first team. So yeah, Barcelona are very poorly run. And back there, it's just a background of Barcelona. They're not doing that well, and eventually they'll collapse like Newcastle did, like Manchester United, and like Inter Milan did. That's how most teams fall. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next time, and tell me in the comments below where do you think Atheltico Madrid will finish next season.